Let's be real, almost every game or novel reincarnated MC in manhwas has like the worst luck. It's usually one of these four. A villain who's gonna be slain by the protagonist, a noble whose house is destined to fall into ruin, a terminally ill character who only has a few years left to live, or just a random NPC who never even appeared in the story. Take away their knowledge of the game or novel, and most of them won't even last a few years. They survive mainly because they know what's gonna happen, which characters they should be wary of, and how to get OP skills before it's too late. But I've gotta say, out of every unlucky MC out there, this one has like the absolute worst luck. If I were to rank every manhwa MC based on how unlucky their reincarnation was, this dude has to be in the top 5. Let me explain. After working diligently like a worker ant, this guy finally won the lottery, but on the same day he won, he was diagnosed with a disease so rare that they literally named it after him. And just like that, he was told he only had 6 months left to live. This news broke him. He desperately wanted to live, but in the end, he died. And when he opened his eyes again, he was now the lowest ranking demon, a bald skeleton. Right after reincarnating, the gods gave him a mission to eradicate every powerful demon who opposed them, and in return, they'd turn him back into a human. So, with no other choice, he climbed the ranks and eventually became the Demon King. Side note, due to their stupidity, the demons all called him Isaac instead of Isaac. Anyways, after defeating every single one of them, he went back to the divine realm for his reward. That's when Isaac realized the truth. The gods never had a way to turn him back. And now, after everything he did for them, they wanted him to stay under their control forever. Now, being strong enough to put even the divine realm itself into chaos, Isaac decides to turn all the gods into skeletons. But right before his magic could activate, he suddenly froze in place. One of the gods had used a technique called Eradicate Destruction. This spell makes it impossible for whoever's name is written to move, and it also seals their soul into whatever their name was written on. And guess what? They wrote his name on a bug. Realizing he was about to be sealed forever, Isaac made a final move. He self-destructed. If he had to go out, he'd do it on his own terms. But his bad luck wasn't done with him yet. Now, instead of disappearing, Isaac woke up as a human baby also named Isaac. Why? Because those idiot gods wrote Isaac instead of Isaac on the bug. They thought his name was Isaac because the demons had been calling him that. For once, his misfortune actually saved him, or so he thought. Because the nannies who were supposed to take care of him were actually hired to quote-unquote take care of him, which meant poisoning his baby milk. See, Isaac was born a saint candidate, someone who had the potential to become the Pope. And in the Holy Empire, the Pope's authority was second only to the emperor's. But the Barrett family, who had controlled the Pope's position for generations, wasn't about to let some random baby take their throne. So the bishop paid off 2 nannies to poison his milk. That should have been the end of him, except it wasn't. Here's the thing. The poison they gave him was called Hallowbane, a toxin meant to destroy a person's holy power. But remember, before becoming a baby, Isaac was the Demon King. So instead of dying, he turned the poison into demon mana that made him stronger. Isaac kept drinking, bottle after bottle after bottle, and the nannies just stood there horrified as Isaac downed 15 bottles of poisoned milk and kept asking for more. Meanwhile, deep inside his subconscious, he gathered all the mana he got from the poisoned milk and made his mana core. But because he was now a saint but was also a former demon king, the result was that not only could he now use both holy and demonic power, but also whenever he uses demon mana, a bit of holy mana was also mixed in, making it appear as pure holy power to everyone else. This was a stroke of insane luck. That wasn't until he found out that he was part of the Joshua family, a family that always had a saintess, and in every single generation their saintesses weren't just crazy, they were hell-bent on killing Isaac when he was still the Demon King, and the craziest of them all was now his own grandmother. Now, unlike a saint who can become a pope and rule over the Holy Empire, a saintess is different. A saintess is the strongest and highest-ranking holy knight in the entire kingdom, and now Isaac had been reborn as part of that family, the Joshua family. And to make things worse, they didn't even want him there. Well, some of them do, but you get what I mean. Anyways, since they already had a saint candidate, and since his father abandoned him at birth, Isaac was nothing short of a burden to them. So, in an attempt to weed him out, they decided to throw him into a deadly trial. He and the other saint candidate were sent into a divine storage to retrieve a sacred relic. Since only those below the age of 10 could enter the divine storage, this would have been easy for him. But there were 8th class demons and 9th class dragons inside. Now, dragons have an incredibly keen eye, and they might be able to recognize his soul. And if any dragon recognized him as the Demon King, he was screwed, because Isaac had scammed over 70 dragons when he was the Demon King. Did I mention that he's not even a year old? At this rate, I can't even imagine how chaotic his life will be when he grows up. Now, I could go on, but I think I've already spoiled way too much. But it's just that I'm gonna annihilate this land is one of those manhwas where you think things can't be this easy, right? And they never are. Now, some might say the pacing is too slow since he's still a baby after 10 plus chapters, but I feel like it's setting up everything perfectly for when he finally grows up, which I definitely cannot wait for. That said, the manhwa isn't perfect. There are confusing moments. For instance, in chapter 1, the emperor calls Isaac his son, but later, the Joshua family claims he's their direct descendant. Maybe it was just an error in the English translation on the site I read it from. I don't know. Also, the god sealing technique was supposed to work when a person's name was written down, so it shouldn't have frozen Isaac in place. I mean, his name wasn't Isaac, so it shouldn't have worked at all. All that aside, I'm gonna annihilate this land is a fun manhwa and definitely worth checking out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more manhwa reviews. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.